Hello everybody, this is Bob Mackey with USgamer, here for today's stream. We're going to be playing Bloodborne. And I'm streaming through my PS4 for the first time ever, and it's all magical and wonderful, and I should be able to see your comments and questions. So please type them in. Ask me anything you want to about this game. I played a hell of a lot of it. And yeah, that's really all there is to it, so let's get started. So, servers are online now because the game is out. Sorry, I had to remind myself that, like, alright, people have this now. And, you know what, I'll let the chat fill up a bit. It doesn't look like anyone's here at the moment, so I'll just start a new game.
Oh, yeah.
Let the cutscene play out, and while this happens, please join me. Jump on in.
Well, you've come to the right place. Yharnam is the home of blood ministration. You need only unravel its mystery. But where's an outsider like yourself to begin? Easy, with a bit of Yharnam blood of your own. But first, you'll need a contract.
Great, we have people in the room. So, hello everybody, thanks for joining me for Bloodborne. This is Bob Mackey from USgamer. Please feel free to ask me any question you want. We're going to run through the first few areas of this game today. I'll play for about an hour, maybe a little more. Square PX is saying don't die. I will try not to. I will say I have the advantage in that I played probably 30 to 40 hours of this game. So right now we're going to make a character, and one thing I don't like is when streamers spend way too long making characters in Souls games, so I'm going to speed through this really quick. And I haven't actually played as a male character yet, so that'll be fun. So let's just start up a male character, and I'm going to name him William von Landingham. It just seems appropriate. Oh, I ran out of spaces. Okay. Let's just call him Landingham. And let me know if you can hear me okay. Let me know if the game audio sounds okay. This is the first time I've actually been streaming through my PS4. And I want to make sure it goes okay. So we're going to name him Landingham. Very cool. And so this is just like Dark Souls, it's just like Demon Souls. We have several different things you can alter. As with all of those games, you can go into every slider for faces and, you know, body builds and things like that and make it so your character is hideous. That's fun and everything, but I just want to... Let's make him an old guy. Landingham's an old man. Origin. This is basically the classes you start as, and you get different bonuses with each, you know, choice you want to go with here, and my favorite is Waste of Skin. The description is very blunt. You are nothing, talentless, you shouldn't have been born. That's really harsh. Let's say Landingham is an academic, and let's give him, he's old. Okay, that sounds about right. He's a very slim man. And let's see what kind of face we want to give him. There are a bunch of face presets. They're all ugly in their own way. But we will just go with a preset face for now. I like that. Maybe we'll give him some glasses. That's a little dorky. There we go. You can get some real, like, Matrix glasses in this game, although I'm not sure how anachronistic that is. So now we've chosen our old man to play as. Let's give him hot pink glasses. Complete the look. Sorry. You know, I just complained about people spending too long to create a character on Bloodborne, and here I am doing it, but you can change what color the glasses are, guys. Cool, okay, he's gonna have purple glasses because I said so. Okay, Landingham is looking good. I think he's ready to go out into battle with his purple glasses and his stately, mature visage. Let's do it, guys. So... I can also, one cool thing about this game is you can also save your favorites So let's say you create a character that you like the face of. Well, you can save it. There's 8 different spots you can save your presets as. So if you ever want to go back to this character's look, you can do that, which is real cool. A nice little touch. Yeah, character creation is at least an evening. I think I spent a good hour, maybe half an hour when I started Bloodborne. But the cool thing is this origin thing. It doesn't really matter that much. I mean, starting stats obviously. There's going to be some differences, but really they're all viable. Maybe Waste of Skin is like the challenge mode because it starts you at the lowest level. But again, I think that gives you the most control because you have more level ups to work through. But as we said before, he's a professional, our landing ham. And we're going to finish this. I'm going to let you guys watch the first cutscene at least because it's really cool. It's really, really cool. It's creepy as hell too. So you're basically given this blood transfusion. From what I've put together in this game, you're essentially given this transfusion so you can enter this world, this nightmare of Yharnam, which is I'm not quite sure what's going on yet. I mean, I played a lot of the game, but as with the Souls games, it's like you figure out the mystery. We're going to give you some very vague clues and go online with your buddies and figure this out. So. It's a little less obtuse than Souls, I'd say, just because it's not really concerned with gods and like high scale like mythology, but it's still very, very deep and interesting and rich, and I've been getting a lot out of it.
Good. All signed and sealed.
Hulagu is asking me if I'm not an expert on Bloodborne lore. I'm not yet. Give me 6 months and I'll let you know what Yharnam means. What are blood echoes exactly, things like that. So this guy's given us a little shot of tainted blood, I believe. And throughout this whole game, not to spoil anything because I'm not even sure if I'm spoiling anything, but it's inferred that the world you're in is literally a nightmare. But when you go back to the hub area, it's called a dream, so it's not really clear what is real and what is not yet, to me at least. So. This is pretty cool. This feels like it's a VR demo or something to me. I can imagine strapping an Oculus on and at some trade show and being scared by this. That's usually what happens with VR and me. So, for some reason that bloody werewolf dude just exploded from touching us, I don't know. If anyone's got questions, throw them out there in the chat room. And these cute little demon guys, they may look threatening, but they're actually your buddies. They actually worship you. David Thorpe wants to know where the Bloodborne is. Unfortunately, that's DLC. It'll cost you $19.99, and you'll need to belong to the Farmers Association of America in order to buy it.
You found yourself a hunter.
So we're waking up in this clinic, this spooky clinic, and this is where the game begins. So yes, as I said before, the Bloodborne and Bloodborne is DLC. It's not ideal, but we gotta take what we can get. So there's a little note left behind, and we can read that, and it says, seek pale blood to transcend the hunt. Whatever that means. So USGamerNet, which might be Kat or Jazz or Mike or Jeremy, is asking if we can show some of the later content. Yes, I can do that after I show off the beginning too. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but I did want to at least go through the beginning stages of this game to show you what it looked like in case you're interested in what the intro looked like, and then maybe halfway through the stream I'll jump ahead to a later stage. Hope you like my cool overalls. I believe rolling speed is consistent with regardless of equipment or weapon or anything like that. There is no item burden, there is no equipment burden, and what those were in Souls games was that basically determined how fast you move depending on the weight of your equipment. That is no longer a thing in this game. So here's a spooky werewolf. I'm just going to run by him. And The game really wants you to get killed by this werewolf, but you don't have to get killed by him if you don't want to. If you're fast enough. Luckily, I'm immortal during these animations. Remember that, kids. If you're opening a door, nothing can hurt you. It just wouldn't be fair. So, I've played this game before. I know where this ladder is I have to hit. And... so when I first played through this game... oh, that was nice. When I first played this level, I was immediately killed by that werewolf because I tried to attack it with my bare hands, and that was a mistake. And getting killed by it will send you to the Hunter's Dream, which is the hub area. But you can also go there by lighting one of these bonfires, excuse me, these lamps, which are essentially bonfires. And here I'm going to get some of my weapons. And you might have heard this before, but the loading times in Bloodborne are they're a little excessive. I've heard they're going to work on reducing those. But it can be a bit much to wait 20 seconds or 25 seconds after you die. I'm really spoiled by Dark Souls 2 on the PC and Dark Souls 1 on the PC, where when you die it's maybe 5 seconds. I would have assumed that with this high-powered hardware they could get loading times down by this point in time, but I know nothing about technology. And PY Tolk is asking, what platform is this? This is a PS4 only. It will never go anywhere else because Sony helped them make it. So you're not going to see this on PC. Definitely not going to see this on Xbox One. So these little guys are my friends, and they want to give me weapons. And I'm going to grab a notebook, and that's essentially the item you use to leave notes for people. And it works the same as it does in the Souls games. You can leave notes that are either helpful or misleading, and you can be rewarded if people like those notes. And I'm going to go with the Hunter Axe because, frankly, I've never used it. I want to make sure I just want to make sure I first have enough strength to use it, and I do. Okay. And skill. Okay. Just a few more things to go over about the basics of this game. You'll see there's only 6 stats, and that's a huge reduction from Dark Souls. Dark Souls had 9, I believe. 9 or 10. And like I said, no item burden, no weapon burden. There's still, like, you know, poison, frenzy, beasthood, those kind of status effects, but it's a little simpler than Dark Souls, but that's not, I don't think that's an issue. I like what they're doing. The reduction does make the gameplay a little better for what it's trying to do. I think it can exist alongside Souls as as viable of an experience. Yeah, Victorian horror is a great match for this kind of a game. That's what Gilly Jack says. So PY Tolk is asking, I might have missed it, but what is the goal in this game? As in the story goal, are you trying to become a great demon hunter or something? Well, that's the thing about this game, and a lot of From Software games. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I need to find out as the player. And that's essentially one of the main goals of a From Software RPG. Figure out why you're doing this. Figure out, you know, why any of this is happening outside of, like, sheer survival. Yes, whatever Forever says, this looks like a game I've played 3 times already. It is very much rooted in Souls stuff, but as I'm going to show you soon, it does a few things differently that makes it a much different experience. Even though the mechanics are very similar, even though the way you'll approach enemies is somewhat similar, I feel it plays different enough for it to be a new thing, not a Souls thing. But obviously, we wouldn't be playing Bloodborne without the existence of Dark Souls. So I've never used this axe before. I'm excited to use it. So weapons in this game, we have a standard attack, which is at R1, and then we have a charge attack. Cool thing is, our weapons can change. So let's change our weapon. This is essentially the power stance from Dark Souls and Demon Souls. Except you can go into the power stance from a regular attack. So I'll swing my sword once, extend it, and push it out like that. So you can combo regular moves and power stance moves together like that. So PY Tolk is asking, is this a game you can throw down a ton of hours a la Souls? Yes. I foresee myself playing hundreds of hours of this game as I did with Souls. I mean, just to get good, as they say, will take me a long time. So I just realized I did not get my gun because I'm just used to having it. So let me just jump back to the Hunter's Dream real quick. I apologize for the brief delay. I really need the gun to show you how it works. But please ask questions. I'm sorry I'm jumping back to Hunter's Dream, but I'm just used to having that gun, guys. So we're back. Gonna see my old friends again, and they're gonna say, "Hey, have a gun on us." So now I've got a gun, and I think that's it. Cool. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just show off the battles a little bit, the fighting system, the battle mechanics, whatever you want to call them. And then I'll jump ahead to a later area. Spoiler warning. I'll let you know when it's coming up. If you want to be totally in the dark about Bloodborne, but I assume if you're watching this, you're cool with seeing some later stuff. Not too late, but a bit after this. So whatever Forever is asking, having played this game, do you think there was a good reason for this to go on the PS4 instead of the PS3? Well, I think really it was about time for us to get a PS4 exclusive game of this nature. I mean, as much as I would love for PS3 development to still be a thing, it wasn't. Souls games didn't really look good on the PS3 or the Xbox 360 for that matter. The PC was really the prime format for those games. In this game, I mean, there are some. I mean, it could have been done on PS3, but it would not be this gorgeous. And I know that's being superficial, but I love being in this world, even though it's hideous and awful. So, Video Red Stripe is joining us. Hello. So I'll show off the stun mechanic real quick, and it's essentially like the parry riposte. Riposte? I don't know how you say that word. I only read it. But it's just like that kind of thing in Dark Souls, except it's a little more manageable, I think. So what you do is your gun is not really a weapon, it's more of a tool, and you use it to stun enemies before you deliver a visceral attack. And I did not do it that time, but I was able to show off one other thing. When an enemy attacks you, you'll notice that little line on my hip bar bumps back, but if I can hit the enemy within a certain window of time, I can get that health back, so they really want you to take risks in this game, really hardcore. So these guys are pretty standard peons. This part of the game really makes me think of Resident Evil 2, just because it is a city with a mob that is after you, with a burning thing on a crucifix in the center. There can't be. I mean, maybe it's an homage. Who knows? And I'm already dead, so cool. All right. I guess I'm not used to the. I guess I'm not used to the axe yet, guys. I should have went with the weapon I know well, but that's cool. We will have the later parts of the game to watch me use weapons I know how to use. Death count is at 1. I really should be better at this area by now, but what do you know? Okay, so Video Red Stripe is saying the axe charge attack is really good. So I'll try doing that. I have a really hefty sword I use now with my main character, which is essentially a beefy weapon like the axe. So we are going to try that out. That's really cool. Okay, I like that a lot. I do really want to show off that, oops, wrong button. I do really want to show off that stun move, so I'll do that with this enemy. I think I can bait him into doing it. Oh, he's too fast! Come on, come back here. Okay. Let's see if I can do this on this staircase now. That works. So K Magi says, what's the frustration quotient so far? How's your self-esteem holding up? Well, I've played a lot of Souls games, and while this game is hard, if you've played Souls games, you kind of are trained to deal with the agony a bit. I mean, that's not to say that just like, oh, just another Souls game. No, it's a lot different, but you learn just to accept frustration as a natural part of it. So I did get stuck on a few bosses here and there, but what I like about this game is that there's always somewhere else to go if you get stuck. So I was never really too frustrated about it. So I'm gonna try to do it on this guy. There we go. So essentially, that gives you back a whole lot of blood if you've lost it, and it will kill most enemies instantly. The bright dot Rollo's asking, that means you're locked on. It's something that I control, and it's actually not distracting. It's just how these games play. I mean, I don't find it distracting at all, really. That axe move is really cool. Thanks for whoever told me about it. So yeah, there are less weapons in this game, but they do feel more unique. I'd say it feels more like Bayonetta's arsenal than it does a Souls game, that each weapon is a little more meaningful. Souls games usually have a lot of variants on the same kind of weapon, but with this game, all the weapons feel very much their own thing. D-pad up, not quite sure what that does actually. I think you sacrifice blood to get more bullets, actually, and I've never used it until you asked me. Okay. So, this really reminds me of Resident Evil 4. Tell me if I'm wrong, but just the whole city with people after you with pitchforks and torches, and it's great. So Video Red Stripe wants to know, how are we on spoilers? Well, this is the first area, so you're spoiler free, unless you consider that a spoiler. You could be that sensitive. I don't think you are though, but I will be warping to a later area, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, just to show you guys how the later areas look and play. So I will give you warning if you want to tune out at that point. Yeah, so far nobody with a chainsaw yet. I don't think. I think this game might take place before the internal combustion engine, so we're safe. We're safe on that end. And more mechanic stuff. The blood is essentially Estus. It does not recharge at lamps, but you can get it pretty easily from enemies. I don't know if there's a trick to get more from enemies. I haven't been able to figure that out, but enemies usually reliably give you blood pretty often. I rarely have had to buy it. Ooh. Which is good, because I'm pretty weak at this point of the game. Oh, Video Red Stripe, yeah, please don't spoil the game. I still have yet to finish it, which is why I've not scored my review. So I'd appreciate if we kept that stuff to a minimum. Thanks. And I'm sure people in the chat might not have even played Bloodborne yet, so... So here's where you really have to use your stun attack against these guys. Otherwise, it takes a long time to whittle them down if you're at this stage in the game. Yeah, Blood is a nice mix between the Estus and the healing items in Demon Souls. It's a sort of rechargeable thing that you need to recharge yourself. It doesn't recharge instantly. It's kind of cool, you have to work for it a little bit, but I've never had to go out of my way to get Blood, really. So we're going to go back to this item we saw earlier. And I may look like I'm speeding through this, but that's just because I played this level a lot. I think it probably took me an hour or two to get to this point when I first played the game. Just because it takes a while to get used to, you know, just the amount of risks they want you to take in these fights. Of course, your old Souls tricks will work too, like luring enemies out is always a great strategy, because they are stupid. They're not as stupid as the undead, but they are pretty single-minded, and they will just come right after you without any precautions taken. So let's take care of this puppy, and we'll move on. Then we have Slash from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's a problem as well. But we got our blood back from that if you saw the health bar. And I'm stocking up on blood here, which is good because I'm sorry, you must kill dogs. There's also enemies in wheelchairs, but hey, they fired first. It's their fault. Oh, sorry. Why did I say Red Hot Chili Peppers? I meant Guns N' Roses. Man, I don't know my bad musicians. Oh, sorry, guys. For the record, I think Guns N' Roses can shred harder than RHCP. So there's some werewolves up there, but I don't want to fight them now because they would probably tear a hole in my butt. So I'm going to go down here in my really bloody uniform. Look how much blood is on me. That's real-time blood, people. Something that's cool, and I'll show you in a second. If I take off my hat, you can see the blood is on my face in the spots where the hood wasn't. Well, I guess it's everywhere, but you can see like the little crease where the hood was actually over my face. That's really cool. It's a nice little next-gen touch, I guess. It's essentially meaningless, but it is a nice little attention to detail kind of thing that I like to see. Yeah. So, as with any kind of Souls-type experience, you end up looping back and being like, oh, I know where I am. See? That's the area. We're above it now. And that's the Hideous Night's Dusk, I guess it is. And we're going to take a quick trip to the sewer to get some better armor for me. Yeah, this game does not kid around with the blood. It is definitely M for mature. It's so silly that Dark Souls 2 had to be T for teen. I think Dark Souls 1 was M, but Dark Souls 2 was just like kind of sanitized in a way. It's like it's the most horrible, hideous place full of corpses and demons and horrible gods and just the worst fates imaginable. But since there's no blood, it's a PG-13 experience. Have fun, kids. Video Red Stripe says, what starting characteristic did I go with? I went with Professional because I'm role-playing this character. He's a very distinguished gentleman named Landingham. Those guys especially you want to stun just because they hit really hard at this point in the game. Yes, wash that blood off with some sewer water. What could possibly go wrong except for typhus? These guys are pretty tough, so hopefully I can stun them. That attack just feels so good when you get it right. Stocking up on blood. Especially these guys with the wrought iron spears, whatever those are. They hit really hard. And your blood caps out at about 20, though you can get items to boost that number, boost the max of that. Landingham is actually a reference to a Mr. Show sketch, so I'll let you figure that out. But his name was supposed to be William von Landingham III. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to head through the sewer, pick up some armor here, and I'm going to change my clothes. This is a better example. As you can see, the blood that splattered on me from enemies was covered up by my clothes, obviously, so I've got kind of like a weird farmer's tan thing going on with the blood. And he's got some saggy old man boobs. I'm sorry, Landingham. You need to work out a bit. We're going to put some clothes on his hideous body. So now we're totally badass. And I'm going to make a mad dash for this ladder, and we're going to hit the boss of this area. I can't make any guarantees that I'll actually win against him because the game doesn't let you level up until you beat that boss. So it's a very Demon Souls type kind of thing, where you couldn't level up in Demon Souls until you beat the first boss too. So guns can screw you up, even though they're not super good for direct offensive attacks. Guns will hurt you in this game. Oh, that's where he went. Okay. I didn't realize there was one of those guys here. Okay. I'm not in a good place to fight him, but I'm gonna see how I can get out of this scrape. Just like in Dark Souls, running will get you out of a lot of things. There is actually no secret if you beat the first enemy. You just get 3 health vials, or blood vials, and that's it. There's no special, Ooh, okay, I need to heal. Let's take care of this guy, because he's a real pain. There we go. So don't worry, I am heading off to the boss, if I can remember where he is. I do. Yeah, the guns are great in this game. I love the counterattack. It's so satisfying when you figure it out. Luckily, these werewolf guys don't always give 2 or 3 blood vials, which is nice because sometimes you need to eat one to keep up. So Mega Man fan just got in from work and he wants to know, are the load times as bad as everyone is saying? They are annoying, but they are tolerable. I think they're making promises to make them better. But I'm someone who is used to, as I said, the load times on the PC versions of these games, of the Souls games, so Loading for me is like 5 seconds, so having to sit through a Bloodborne load time is a little bit of a rude awakening. But I hope they make that better. I hope they find a way to patch that and make it a little more, a little less of a wait, rather. So I'm stocking up on a few things. I'm so tempted to go back home and level up my weapon, but we don't have time for that. This is a live stream. I got to be entertaining here. So let's keep going. Patch is coming. Yeah, actually, the PR guy told me patch is on its way, although I don't know how effective it'll be. So there are no people in the streets of Yharnam, Yardham, however you say it. The few people who are alive and are not turning into beasts are behind doors, locked away, and you can talk to them, and there are some side quests and stuff. We'll leave that for now, but just if you get the game, don't neglect the doors that have light coming out from under them. In case you're wondering, I'm hoping to have a full review score by Thursday. I've been doing nothing but playing Bloodborne since last Thursday, if that gives you an indication of how time-consuming this game is. So I don't want to give it a score until I get to do more stuff like the Chalice Dungeons and way more multiplayer. As of now, I've only played about 15 minutes of multiplayer, and it was fun, but I want to do more. I want to help people beat hard areas. I want to, like, do silly gestures. I want the whole experience, basically. But I'd be lying if I said this is not an amazing game that I'm thoroughly entertained by. I just can't give it an official score right now. So we're going to open up some shortcuts here. The dark parts of this game are actually dark. You do need a torch for some areas, unlike Dark Souls 2, where they had to nerf that because of technology not cooperating with them. But I am without a torch right now, so I cannot light up this area. But when you light a torch, you sacrifice your gun. You have to hold the gun in one hand, torch in the other. So you got to make some decisions. Decisions? Sure, why not? And I'll open up this side because I just made a little shortcut for myself. Great sound design in this game too. I heard that guy dragging his axe before I even saw him, which is cool. And I opened up another shortcut. You know, what do we say I go back to the Hunter's Dream, level up my weapon, fight the first boss, and then I'll show you a later area, because I'll play for another half an hour or so we'll see plenty more of Bloodborne. Please keep leaving your comments. I really like to talk about this game. I can't wait for the videos to start coming out. They already have, really, like the lore videos, the secrets videos, the all the discussions, all the great strategies people are coming up with, the exploits. It's just going to be a really fun game to talk about for the next year. And hopefully longer, like with the original Dark Souls. As you can see, we passed these little not gargoyles, werewolves prowling. We were once on that side of the bridge, now we're on this side. But we're not going to head over there just yet, because I do want to beef myself up a tiny bit before I fight this boss. As Bloodborne bosses go, he's not too bad, but I can't level up yet, which is a big pain in the butt. So I need to level up my weapon at the very least to give myself a fighting chance.
I must live. Please, God, I must live.
It's weird, I am hearing voices, but I'm not sure where they're coming from. Oh well. Maybe they're in my head. Oh, there he is. Yeah, I imagine lore is going to be take a little time to piece together. I remember Dark Souls 2. It took people a few months before there were any semi-definitive takes on like what is actually happening here. Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to get my bearings. I'm going to Hunter's Dream, and then we will level up our axe. I will show you a cool boss that I will probably cheese for the sake of cheesing him. And I fought him a bunch of times. I actually fought him this morning, just as practice. McCramim says he likes my tentative review. Thank you so much. That was really written to address how it differs from Souls games. The final part of my review will be like just Bloodborne on its own terms, but the middle part of my review is going to be multiplayer. So it's going to be a 3-part review, updated throughout the week. I didn't have time to update today because I wanted to play more multiplayer but couldn't. So you're gonna have to wait on that. But otherwise, it's gonna happen by the end of the week, the whole review. So I'm sorry, I'm a little disoriented. I need to find my way back to that shortcut. I keep getting turned around. I think that guy's laughing at me. And as in Dark Souls, the AI has a limited leash, so they kind of don't know what to do once they get to a certain part far away from their home. Ooh. This guy's really rocking my world here. Okay. Alright, I think I might know where I'm going in a second here. I just wanted to get some more blood here. So we had a question about how does it compare in difficulty to the Souls games? It's hard to say, really. I think it's about on par with Dark Souls 2. Maybe a little bit harder than that. Although I haven't finished the game yet, so please please know that is a provisional comment in progress. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I'm not done thinking about this game yet. I'm not done chewing up this game, so to date, I've finished every boss so far by myself, which I consider an achievement for a Souls-type game. Although you'll find if you review these kinds of games, you're kind of in hell because no one can help you. No one can jump into your game and be like, "Hey, let me help you out with this boss." So I'm back here, and this creepy doll will eventually help me level up. Not yet, though. She's still sleepy. This dude gives you a little background info on what you're doing here. Not nearly enough, mind you, but still, he's there occasionally. And, oh, I can only level up that thing once, which is fine. I don't need to do too much. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to buy some Molotov cocktails first. Then I'm going to fill up on blood. And I believe the things you buy become more expensive as you level up. Yeah, blood for me now is not 180, it's more like 500 and something, so... So we're jumping back to Central Yarnum. And by the way, I spelled Yarnum wrong in my review. Actually, I spelled it wrong, and then I have like a big parenthetical that says "check if this is spelled right," and that was actually part of the review for half an hour. So I'm proud if you laughed at that because that was an honest mistake. But then I went to other reviews. I'm like, wow, no one spelled Yarnum right. Yarnum is the Dark Souls of spelling. So right now you're looking at a typical load screen. That should give you a sense of how long loading times are in this game. Blood and cocktails. Yep, that's what I get at the store all the time. So what I'm going to do now is, you'll notice that I opened this gate, which was closed before. I'm going to use it to zip back down to where I was. Again, one of the best parts of these games, from Software RPG, Souls, whatever you want to call them, is the shortcuts. When you open up a shortcut, it feels so good. You're like, I can bypass so much stuff now. And every level is built around opening up gradual shortcuts. It feels great. I love it. Yeah, Vincent Price should be narrating this game, or at least a sound-alike. It is a very spoopy game. So here's a fun trick. Oops. Oh wait. There we go. You know, I was hoping to kill all the birds, but so right now, I might not be talking too much because we're going to fight the cleric demon, cleric beast, whatever you want to call him. I'm sure he has a real name. Beware of giant beast, okay. Oh, abhorrent beast, fine. Sobbing waits ahead. Aw, come on you guys, it's not that hard. Let's leave our own little note. Let me, actually, I need to fill out my quick slot here. Put a notebook there, some pebbles there. Oil, huh? That would be awesome. Okay, let's try this. So this is going to be the first boss, and then after I either die or either I'll die or I'll beat him, and then I'll move on to a later level with a different character, and I'll show that off for the next, like, 10-15 minutes. So, big Bloodborne boss coming up. B. Big old Bloodborne boss. Hello! So, oil is great. As I said, I'm going to be a little quiet during this part. It's the first boss, but still, I don't want to risk it. I will say the camera could be a bit better in some instances like that one. I forgot that could hurt you. It's cool. Shut up. Okay, he's dead. Whew. So that's how you fight a boss in Bloodborne. Thanks for your patience, as I did not talk through that entire fight mostly. Yeah, he's a cleric. Lots of the bosses you fight are transformed versions of people who are people who were at one time people. Apparently, this beast disease turns you into a werewolf and then can make you giant or something. But how about a little round of applause, guys? I beat a boss. Let's do this. Yeah. I realize you're probably just seeing me beat the boss because of the delay on Twitch, but yeah, that could have went better. I didn't have to cheese it with Molotovs. I just wanted to at least beat a boss. So we're gonna move on to my other character. If you don't want to do spoilers in terms of not necessarily lore but areas, you might want to tune out now. That's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna jump to the end of the game or anything like that. I just am gonna jump to a later level to show you how much more deadly they can be. I'm not going to be doing any story stuff. I'm not going to be doing any bosses. I'm just going to be showing off another area for about 10 minutes, just to show you how much more intense the game can get. So I'm going to load my initial character. Yeah, the boss names in Bloodborne are very much like the boss names in Souls, where it'll be the name of something. You're like, does that have meaning? Is that significant? And then later you learn, oh, that's who that was. Like the first boss in Dark Souls 2 is something called the Last Giant, and only until you get to the end of the game do you realize what that means and what you did and things like that. That is not a spoiler in any way. So yeah, I might as well play this level. This is the forest type area. This is my character. I've got an entire crow feather set, and this is my weapon. It's really cool. It's a sword, but I can also do a power stance, and it's just like a great sword in Dark Souls. So you go through various types of areas in this game. I gotta take care of this guy. You go through a lot of different types of areas, which is why I like this game. It's not just a bunch of ruined cities. You go through so many different kinds of locations, and there's a lot of variety. And these levels are really big. This actually reminds me of Huntsman's Cops, whatever. I think it's Cops from Dark Souls 2, with a little better graphical effects. It is a gorgeous game. Ooh, yeah. This holy sword cost 20,000 blood echoes, so. It was not cheap. Was not a cheap buy. You know what? Let me try something, actually. What I just did was I rang the... Sorry, I rang the small resonant bell, and that is so I will be summoned into another person's world. Hopefully that'll work out. I can show you guys, that. So Tremegus wants to know what mic I'm using. It's just a standard headset. Does it sound bad or anything? I'm curious. I had to go with the quick and dirty setup because I was kind of in a rush today. So if you need me to be louder, let me know. I can easily turn myself up. I think it's just like a Logitech $80 USB headset, standard. Okay, cool. Thanks. Oop. As you can see, my health bar now is much bigger. I have cooler equipment, and And I think I said it before, I might have been distracted, but the beckoning bell is what you ring in order to summon someone into your world, and the other bell is what you ring when you want to be summoned. So I rang the I want to be summoned bell, so hopefully that'll work out. Oh, and look, someone's pulling me into their world. We'll actually get to see co-op. That's so cool. Someone is going to be on my stream. So we're now in the world of Club Room. We're going to give them a little hidey-ho. It's always proper to bow before you enter a Dark Souls / Bloodborne style co-op match. Okay, we gotta run. This is a man on a mission. There are some frame rate issues with multiplayer, as you can probably see. They're not devastating, and I'm hoping they work on those too, but I have a feeling the character models are pretty high high polygon count, so maybe there's really nothing to do. Boy, this guy just killed everyone in this area before summoning me. There is Souls etiquette, believe it or not. So someone is asking what kind of art style do I want to see From Software do with another Souls game. You know what? I don't know. I'd have to think about that a little harder, but I like what they're doing with this Gothic style. It's much removed from the high fantasy look of the Souls games, and Demon Souls. I like how nothing is like magical or mystical. It's all very Victorian, steampunky, which I feel bad for the Order for coming out a month before Dark Souls. I know it's a very different game, but it's still a steampunky Victorian game where you fight monsters in a Gothic setting. I mean, that's bad timing on their part, I think. So this guy opened up a shortcut that I already did, so he probably just realized that, oh, I don't need to go that way. And as in Souls games, you can really steamroll a lot of enemies with more than one player, and you can have 2 co-op people in this, although summoning has taken a little bit longer than I would have expected for such a big game like this. In Dark Souls 2, I was summoning left and right. This game, it's taking me a little bit longer, so I don't know what the system is in place. I don't really know the math behind summoning in this game yet. I'm sure someone will take it apart. Some very dedicated person will have an entire graph about how summoning works, because From is not going to tell you. Oh. Okay, I walked into that. That was my fault entirely. Death count is 2 for this, but there's a cannon at the end of that long, grassy pathway, and you need to reach that cannon by weaving in and out of houses before it can blow you up. It's a really cool part of the game, but I just ran right in front of it because I totally forgot it existed. So we'll play a little tiny bit more. I got to get going soon so I can actually play. I have to stop playing Bloodborne on a stream so I can play Bloodborne off the stream, if that makes any sense. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Bloodborne on the RPG podcast Axe of the Blood God. So please check that out this week. I think we're recording Thursday. It might go up Friday. Just check our site at all times. It might go up Monday. I'm not sure. I know I'm recording it this week, so I'll be definitely talking about Bloodborne. Yeah, and the invasion item, I think someone pointed out in chat. In previous games, the invasion item was something you had to. It was finite. You would go through your supply, and if you wanted to invade, you'd have to get more. But in this game, the invasion item is infinite. Once you get it, you can use it to invade. I never invade because I don't want to hurt people in this game. I think we should all get along. But if that's your thing. That's your thing. I want to be summoned again. So here's a fun trap. That I didn't even trigger. Oh well. So people are talking about a Bloodborne update. Is this the older update? Is this a new update for today? I have not downloaded an update since pre-release, so I'm curious if I'm missing something. But you know, I think I'm also excited about the Scholar of the First Sin edition for Dark Souls 2 because I like streaming, and I think it'll be really easy for me to stream via PS4 with that game. So I'm really looking forward to getting some streaming done with Dark Souls finally. I never really have done it as much as I enjoy watching it. Okay, so an update is forthcoming. Cool. So I think I just want to draw these guys out. One thing I'm hoping, I really hope there's no connectivity issues, because I feel like at this point in the game I should be summoned like instantly, but it's been taking a long time, and I'm not sure if that's just me on my end, or if it's the game, or if it's just their servers or what, but I feel like it's taking a little too long to be summoned, and I want to know why. For Dark Souls 2, it was like, bam, you put down a sign, you're there, like, instantly, and it's not the case for Bloodborne. And I will say another thing about Bloodborne that I like is there's no punishment for dying, no dead or undead states, no hollowed states or anything like that. If you die, you're still alive, you just go back to the checkpoint, lose your souls, whatever. That's really cool. There's no humanity to keep track of or anything like that. So when I first started playing this game, and let me know if you agree with me, when I was playing it, especially... Ooh. Something happened. I got summoned. Okay. So we'll play through this summon and then I'll let you go, but tell me if you agree. When I first played through this game, initially I was like, this is Resident Evil. This is what Resident Evil should be. It's like Resident Evil without guns. So... where's my co-op partner? Oh, there he is. Hey dude, sorry I walked in front of a cannon. That was my bad. So yeah, we'll see how this pans out. I am hopeful. I'm hoping for the best. Yeah, thanks. Okay, I know I'm just patting myself on the back here, but Mark Cramim, however you say that, I'm sorry if I messed it up, agrees this would be like a good Resident Evil setting. It already feels like it. I mean, minus the guns again. There are guns, but you're not like doing headshots or anything. It's like a melee Resident Evil, and it feels like that. Just the pressure, the friction, the secrets. It feels like a weird successor to RE4, even though it's also a successor to Souls. Yeah, both Dark Souls games are on 360. So right now he's using the shortcut he opened up earlier, which is really smart. We've just bypassed that entire area, and I'll show you the little cannon area, and I won't wander in front of it this time. Promise. As much as I don't like to be a graphics guy, I will admit I am enchanted by the lighting effects and just how good this game looks. I know it's not 60 FPS. That's fine. I'll live with it. It looks good. It looks really good. Okay, so I'm gonna make a beeline... Oh, yeah. Got it. So you kind of have to weave your way through these houses in order to reach the cannon guy, and which is what we're doing now. And this one's a little trickier because there are guys waiting for you. And after that, you just run behind the cannon and whack them. I'm gonna let my friend do it because I don't want to get shot. There we go. So you're about to see what really made me think of Resident Evil down here. I was like, oh, these guys played RE4. These guys must like RE4 a lot because of this enemy. Tell me if that reminds you of RE4, and you get a cookie. How about that? As far as I know, there's no way to make co-op function like I want to pull my friend into the game. Come here, friend. It's more of the random whoever's available kind of thing. I don't know if there's an item to help facilitate coordinated co-op like there is in Dark Souls 2. I don't know if they've done that yet. I haven't found it. If they have. Oh, thanks. I'm getting compliments on my Bloodborning. I don't think I'm that good, but I'll take your compliment gladly. I think I've been playing long enough where I can at least appear to be good. And I've already lost my friends. So one thing I'm not entirely sure about yet, and that's the fact that when you do summon, you ring a bell, and apparently that bell will attract someone called the Bell-Ringing Woman, and I'm pretty sure she shows up and just spawns a bunch of monsters, and you have to kill her before they stop spawning, but I haven't actually seen her yet. Video Red Stripe wants to see me do a Chalice Dungeon stream. I probably will do that at some point, so maybe at a future US Gamer stream. Oh, I've never been to this area before. Cool. That's the one fun thing about co-op, as always, it lets you explore areas with a safety net, because you don't lose your souls when you die when you're doing co-op, if you're not hosting. So I like to use this to scope out areas, and apparently there's an NPC up here that I've never met. I have to come back here. In the meantime, I'm gonna... what should I do? Hey, what's up? Hehe. Ah, okay. So the bell-ringing woman has left. I don't know what that means. I don't want to know what it means. Please don't tell me. I want to figure it out for myself. But it's really cool. I like things like that. Like, what does that mean? I need to know. I need to figure this out on my own. So I didn't realize you could explore this weird windmill thingy. I really need to come back here. Apparently my buddy does. Where'd he go? He's a little too fast for me. There he is. So that works. One of the good things about co-op is enemies can only really target one of you at once. Most of them anyways, so you can always use one guy to distract and one guy to get behind the enemy. There are no backstabs in this game, but, you know, hitting an enemy's back is just as fine. Especially when they, oh, he found another shortcut. Good for him. And, okay, I guess we're not gonna go that way. So Video Red Stripe says, Bob, have you tried emoting to the doll in the Hunter's Dream? I haven't, but I will now, if that's a clue. I won't mention them here on the stream, but there are some parts of Bloodborne that I really want to see how people react to them, because they come out of nowhere, they are delightful, and I just really want to see what people are, how they will react to these things I'm talking about that I refuse to name for spoiler reasons. Bloodborne is a hard game to review because it's like, oh, I want to talk about this cool thing, but I can't because everyone will hate me. There are some super, super cool things that I can't talk about in Bloodborne. Not because anyone's forcing me to, but because I want to make it fair for you guys who are reading. So we summoned a random string of characters, sure, why not? Now we're gonna get full cooperation. Wait, where'd he go? Okay. So yeah, I'm not really sure about the logistics of summoning either, like where it puts you into the game. I don't know where our summon friend is, but he's not showing up. Ooh. So a lot of us are rocking these heavy swords. That's awesome. Yeah, the environments are very big. They do have a lot of landmarks. They're kind of intuitive. They're misleading enough, but once you run through them enough times, you will just be like, oh, I turn left here, I turn right there, I jump over this. Yeah, these environments feel really lived in, really organic, like nothing feels out of place. Everything feels natural. It barely feels like it's been a handcrafted environment. That guy loves power stancing. Okay, I will warn you guys, we may be fighting a boss coming up here if we make it to the boss. So if that happens, I'll let you know and you can jump out if you don't want to see that boss. I realize that spoilers are serious business in this game. Believe it or not, I have not been spoiled yet. And I thank you for not spoiling me if you have spoilers on your mind. Hooray! Now we're gonna go down this hill. So there's a big snake up here. Which actually isn't too bad if you know how to approach it. But it seems like we've riled up a lot of enemies just by existing. Okay. That had to happen. So dead in one hit. That's Bloodborne for you. Thanks everybody for joining me today. I gotta go take a lunch break. It's like 4 o'clock here and I've been starving myself. But thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you like Bloodborne. I look forward to more Bloodborne coverage on the site all week as I get through this hard game and get to the end. But I can do it. So yes, the website is USGamerNet. If you haven't subscribed to our Twitch channel and you're watching it now, just do it. You dummy. There's a button there. Just click on it and I'll love you forever. Also, we have podcasts, we have Retronauts, we have From Us to You, we have Axe of the Blood God, all great stuff. So please check it out. And on Twitter, I am at BobServo, BobServo. So talk to me on there. And yeah, I hope you enjoy Bloodborne. I'm really loving this game, guys. I can't talk about review scores right now, but I would be surprised if it was not a really, really high score, unless some horrible thing happens, like it becomes a kart racer in the last 10 hours. Which I doubt will ever happen. But, you know, who knows. So, for US Gamer, this has been Bob Mackey. Thank you, and have a great Tuesday, everybody. Later.